My name is Jeremy. I am the 5th generation on this farm operation. What are you doing in there? So right now I'm testing everything on the planter just to make sure it runs and runs smoothly. I'd replace an O-ring in here, inside. I won't really know if it's leaking again until it gets good and warm, thinner oil. But I'm also watching the chains to make sure there's no jumps, other than that one jumps a little because it's kind of loose. But the rest of the chains should run smooth, the shafts should turn easy, no catches or jumps. I don't have any seed in it or anything yet. Just a preliminary run to make sure I got everything put back together right. Say it's looking pretty good.
I don't think I've ever been in here before.
No, there's probably never been any reason for you to be.
No.
Where's
the fertilizer going right now?
It's just circulating back into the tank that it's coming out of.
Oh.
We've got it set up to be able to agitate, stir it up. So.
Gotcha.
Hashtag Plant 2020 is underway. See the big old girl behind me there? Putting seed and fertilizer down in the ground. Normally, I wouldn't have to be holding on to the steering wheel, but we're having an issue with some connections, so rather than trying to take the time to figure it out, I'm just trying to drive by the light bar, which is on the screen there. But I'm excited. We're rolling. April 27th, and we're planting corn. Woo, woo! Had a unit run out of corn. Let's see what's going on. Yep, it's empty. Just as I suspected when the alarm went off to say that it's empty. The question is, yeah, they're a little uneven because we didn't have an even number of bags. So, shuffle some around to even out the units a little bit. Got my handy dandy coffee can. This baby's got me out of a lot of pickles over the years. Okay. See how much further we can go now. So this computer here, this is John Deere Computer Track. That's monitoring how much seed is coming out of the planter. Maximum population there, 34,600, minimum 31,800. And then the average population is 32,800, which is pretty close to what I'm shooting for at 32,000. And over here I've got a monitor to watch the red ball display at the back of the planter for the pop-up fertilizer. Down here, this controls the variable rate. This is where I set what population I want to plant my seed at. And this is the computer that maps what I'm doing and helps me drive straighter. So this is how a planter unit works. So these are trash cleaners. They move the junk out of the way. This disc here helps cut any hard soil. These discs, there's two of them here, smooth. They're kind of in a V shape to each other. They open a trench. These wheels keep those discs from going too deep. Set the depth for the seed. Seed comes out down in there. This helps push the seed down into the trench nice and firm. And then this wheel and spike wheel close the dirt back over, and then this chain helps level it back out. And up in here, there's a vacuum that counts out one seed at a time. Vacuum against a plate with holes in it. This field has been disked. Normally we are mostly no-till farmers, but we do spread manure, and that is best to be incorporated into the soil, and so we do have to work a little bit of ground. You also notice that this is corn stock, so we don't usually plant corn on corn except in this field. We've done it in this field for many, many years because it's very close to home and convenient for chopping silage for the cattle. And it's actually one of our best yielding cornfields typically, even though it's been mostly corn for the last 20 years, save for a couple of years here and there. But I think the cow manure probably helps a lot with that. So this is our fertilizer trailer. Right now I'm pulling out of the front tank, which is the starter fertilizer. This back one is pop-up, which goes in the row right next to the seed at a very low rate. I'm filling the big tank on the planter right now. I don't know if you can see it, it's just about in the middle of Rawson. And when the tank on the trailer is empty, because I don't think it'll fill the planter, then I'll switch and top off my pop-up tanks, which are these ones, the yellow ones back here. The fertilizer, the starter goes 2 inches away from the seed at 22 gallons to the acre. And then the pop-up goes right in with the seed at about 4 gallons to the acre. They're both essential to get that seed. Well, the pop-up's essential to help get the seed started. The starter helps once it gets a little bit bigger, and then through the rest of its life. Where'd you go? Welcome back. 2020. And look, Ma, no hands. Got the auto steer fixed. So we're cruising along with nice straight lines. I was getting a little frustrated trying to drive by the light bar, so I was going to use the markers. I'm having some hydraulic issues with those. I didn't want to fold back up. So finally I got the right guy on the phone and got things figured out and got my auto steer up and working. Man, that old school stuff, that's really old school. So now that my auto steer is fixed, I can spend a lot more time turning around and watching what's going on behind. Watching my planter monitor down in front of me. Making sure nothing else is broken. So here's the steering wheel doing its thing all by itself. You see this box here, this is what has the gears in it that control the steering wheel. Keeps the tires up there going nice and straight. Well, that's not supposed to look like that. The straps broke. When it fell back, it broke 2 of the red ball indicators. So I can't fix them without going home, and we're about as far away from home as we get, save for one farm, but we're about 5 miles, talking a couple of hours lost planting at least to go home and fix it. And they're talking heavy rain tonight. I'd like to get this field done because it can be a wet one. Pop-up's not a necessity, it's just something helpful, so I'm gonna keep planting without it. We still got fertilizer, that's the important part. Pop-up's just a little extra energy. We'll have to get up to the front, strap this baby up out of the way so it doesn't keep rattling against the boxes. Just another day of planting. Just trying to get to the front of the field to get that taken care of. And this marker bolt broke. The thing is, I'm not even using the markers, and I still broke it. But if I don't fix it, it's gonna swing around and hit the tractor tire or something stupid like that. It's about 9 o'clock. Still got about 20 acres to go. Plan on finishing it tonight. 20 acres should take an hour and not quite an hour and a half. But the way today is going, it'll probably take me 3. So we'll see. So it's just after 10:30. I'm on my last pass of the night, but it started to rain. It started sprinkling about a half an hour ago, and it's just very slowly been getting a little bit heavier. It's a good thing this is my last pass, because if I had to go another round, I might have to call it quits. Too much rain and the dirt starts to stick to the planter, and it just doesn't do a good job, doesn't get the seed at the right depth, and then it starts to cause compaction around the seed, all kinds of problems. But we're gonna make it for this field. Yep, I think I finished just in the nick of time. She's just about pouring now. Okay, so I'm here back at the planter. I got the parts that I need. Dad welded up the straps that hold the indicators up in place. I got those to put on. I've got new red ball indicators. They come in sets of 4, and I only need 3, so that means we'll have a spare. But hopefully I'll never need it. And 20 years from now, when we don't even own this planter anymore, I can be cleaning out the shop and go, what in the world was this ever from? And I'll say, oh yeah, maybe it was from that old planter we used to have, and then I'll throw it away or put it back on the shelf because I just don't know. It's usually how that stuff goes. But I'm gonna get this put back together, and can't plant yet because it's kind of wet after the rain here. But we'll be ready to go for when we can anyway. So I got the new indicators in. They're a little bit different. You can see they're taller, which doesn't really matter, but the problem is they're also a little bit wider at the base, so my bolt holes aren't lining up. So for now I'm just gonna have to zip tie it really good and tight, and then when we get back to the shop at some point, drill holes in this plate to get that mounted a little more solid, because that's more movement than I would like to see in it. So I got that part done. I'll get my straps back on and get it put back up there. It's the 3rd day of planting corn, but we had about a 3 or 4 day gap in between the last day of planting corn because of some rain. We're up, back, and rolling now, and actually rolling some pretty good dust, which it's just because of the 2 days of sun and wind that we've had here. It's still wet in spots around the edges of the field, but the field is in pretty good shape for the most part. This farm has been worked. I always say we're mostly no-till, and yet every cornfield I've planted so far this spring has had some amount of field work done to it, tillage I mean. The reason for tillage here is because we had tiled part of this field, so we needed to work down the tile lines to get them smoothed out, and then the other parts of the field were kind of rough from tiling a few years ago and never really getting it taken care of, and then just other little things that happen over time, gopher holes and whatnot. And so we ended up working it all down. There's advantages and disadvantages to both. I personally like no-till better. Reduces compaction and holds in moisture more, and promotes microbial activity, which is good for the plant to take up nutrients. But sometimes we have to level out tile lines, incorporate manure, different things like that. And so we turn to tillage, which helps control the weeds better without sprays or with less sprays. And helps the soil warm up better and helps to get better seed to soil contact, which helps it germinate faster. The field I'm in here today is no-till. You can see the smaller stubble down there is last year's soybean stubble, and then the bigger pieces are corn stalks left from 2 years ago. Undisturbed ground, and then you can see very plainly where the planter's gone through. The planter essentially works just a narrow strip right where the seed is going to go. And all the rest of the trash just stays right next to the row and breaks down and supplies nutrients, helps protect from the wind, helps hold the moisture down in the soil.